So I taught a solo jazz class today, and I did something a little bit different, which is that I used a slightly slower song than I usually do. So it just got me thinking because I personally have been trying to dance to slower music, and I find it very difficult. And I think that's because dancing to slower music feels a little bit more vulnerable to me. I feel like I have to access deeper feelings, specifically a lot of like my sensuality and sexuality that I think, and also sadness and grief and just deeper feelings. And that can be hard to express publicly and even, to yourself. So yeah, it's been something I've been thinking about because I think the swing scene, at least the vintage swing scene that I'm involved in, it tends to trend faster music. Like in competition settings, we tend to just go faster and faster, which is cool. And I think it expresses a certain joy and like vitality. And I think that's beautiful. And I think, but I also think it creates this thing where we don't embrace slower music and we don't embrace those deeper feelings. Um, and I think that's in part because the swing scene is a culture that really embraces modesty, which I think is a beautiful thing. And honestly is the reason I probably chose swing over other styles because it felt safer to me. It felt safer to dance in a partnership and to dance with other people in a way that felt more wholesome and didn't have to be sensual or sexual and rarely was. And I'm grateful for that because I wouldn't have started partner dancing were that not the case. Um, that being said, it kind of perpetuates this feeling that to be sensual um, is wrong and it shouldn't be expressed. And I just think that's so sad because we all are that. We all have those parts of ourselves. And not embracing it, it alienates this whole part of who you are and also what it is to be alive. And so if you alienate it in yourself, you kind of also close off this whole way of seeing and feeling and being in the world. So anyways, it's just something I've been thinking about. I'm curious what you think. How do you feel about dancing to slower music and also just about, expressing more vulnerable feelings like in your art? Yeah, I'm curious.